Every single time I do that, I got to get my rhythm down. I got to get my steps when it comes to starting these streams, especially when I'm playing the music, got the overlays, got all the things. Either way, it doesn't matter. What's going on, everybody? How are you today? It is a wonderful Friday. Oh my gosh. I feel like I always talk about the weather because the weather is very important to me. I mean, sunshine is extremely important to me. I don't know how you all feel about it, but sunshine is very important to me. In Indiana, we are going to hit 50 degrees today, Fahrenheit, and I'm excited about the sunshine we've been experiencing because I feel like we had maybe 2 days of sun in all of January. So February was much better, and I'm just super excited about spring. I can taste it. I can feel it. I can smell it. I can taste it, and I love springtime because I love to be outside and all the things. So anyways, I'm in a good mood today because the sun's shining and we had a wonderful sunrise and it's just a good Friday. So super excited to be here with you all today. We're going to do a live Q&A today. So what that means is you get to ask me anything you want. I mean, it doesn't mean I'm going to have the answer. It doesn't mean I'm always going to have the answer to everything you ask, but definitely would love to help you with your marketing strategies, your marketing questions, anything about live streaming, gear, technology, StreamYard, of course, the beautiful platform that we are coming to you live from right now. So if you are new to the show, my name is Melanie Diane Howe. I am a live streaming mentor, and I absolutely love helping people elevate their live videos, elevate their personal brand so that they can basically reach all their goals. I personally am a big believer in putting yourself out there and being able to embrace yourself as you are, but using tools like live streaming to connect with your audience. And that's exactly what we're doing here today, right now. So if you've got a question for me, put a Q in front of it. That's going to help me see it in the midst of all of the beautiful comments that are coming in from all of the beautiful people watching and tuning in here on this wonderful Friday. So want to give some shout outs, say hello to everybody in the comments. I was displaying some comments earlier as we were kind of counting down, getting ready for the show. And so got to say hi. We got Bowling with the Fef hanging out with us here. He's here live checking in on us. We got Gabriel from Lagos, Nigeria. Wow. Okay. Great to see you here in the comments live with us, Gabriel. And we got Dark Bites from Ontario, Canada. It is suspiciously sunny in Ontario, Canada today. Okay, well, don't be suspicious. Enjoy it. Love it. Get after it. Have some fun with it. So, Amy's here as well. Joanne's got a question for me. Fantastic. Oh, I see Mac computers. I'll do what I can, but we might have to ask for some friends in the audience to help us out. And the Creator Classroom, anything? I mean, technically anything, right? I like to keep it a little focused on marketing and live streaming, but technically you can ask me anything you want. But again, may or may not be able to answer your question. How about that? Yeah, but like I said, live Q&A today. So start putting those questions in the comments. I am seeing them come in. So I'm already starring a lot of these comments. I'm using the wonderful star feature that StreamYard has, which basically puts it into a queue so that you can click between your live comments and then whatever you've saved. It kind of like saves it in a little queue, which is one of my favorite features ever. So I love it. So I've been using StreamYard for 4 years, and I remember one of the first live streams I did where I had quite a few people in the audience. It was a show we used to do called Ask StreamYard before the town hall turned into Ask StreamYard. And I was like, so many questions. I wish I could pull them and put them into a different list. And a lot of people actually requested that feature. And what do you know? Dan Engage made it happen. So that's the starred comments feature, which I absolutely love. Okay, fantastic. You guys are coming in hot with questions. I love it. I'm going to start the next few that I see in here and make sure that I saw a comment I wanted to see. Let's see. Creole catfishing. That's what I saw. Stuck at home with COVID, so I'm here to learn as much as I can while I'm down. Well, Creole catfishing, I certainly hope that you feel better soon, and I'm glad that you're here with us. Hopefully we can bring you a little energy today, or maybe help you use some energy watching so that you can take a really good nap, right? So that help you get rested and feel better. So sorry to hear that you are feeling down with the weather there. So too bad. Okay. All right. So let's jump in. But yeah, Creator Classroom, the star feature is awesome. It's fantastic. I love the star feature. So, we got a first timer here. So, hi guys, my first time here. Well, Ibrahim, Lucas Sr., great to see you. Thanks for tuning in live. Fantastic to see you here for sure. Okay, Ron Quarles, I see your question. I am going to start that. Even I saw it. I happened to see it without that Q in there. So Jim Lawyer's here too. Hello, Jim. Good to see you here. Love always seeing you live in the comments. So, all right, here we go. We're going to have some fun. I am going to start answering questions. I'm going to get through as many questions as I can for the next 50 minutes, and then we will close the stream down and be done for the day. But definitely want to get into these questions because I got a bunch of them already. So Joanne has a question. She says, new Mac computers have small hard drives. Suggestions for economical and secure ways to store archived ST videos and such. Oh, so a lot of, honestly, Joanne, this is one of those really great questions that I would totally post in your YouTube search and look for some suggestions. I will be honest with you. Our friends over at Think Media, the Think Media team, they have a lot of really good tech videos that they do. In fact, they have a lot of just, hey, here's my setup for this year. And there are a couple of Mac users, and they talk about, I know they have that, they love that CalDigit accessory as well, because with a Mac computer, especially a laptop, actually many new laptops, I mean, all of them are kind of going to this real thin style, shape, and they don't have a lot of inputs on them. So you would need like an external input device. So the CalDigit, whatever, there's a model number with it, but they all love that. But anyway, my point is that I know they've talked about their external hard drives that they use for those MacBooks, and those guys are super smart. I would definitely go try to find one of those videos. I know Omar did one not that long ago that was a really good video, and they're really just fun to watch. I always like looking at other people's setups and what technology they're using, but I also get very jealous about how clean their desks are and their cable management and all those wonderful things. And, I just always get a little inspired by that. So definitely go check that out. Now, if any of you guys are MacBook users and you have a suggestion for Joanne, feel free to share your suggestion with her in the comments. That is just simply a tech question that I'm not a Mac user. So I'm not a Mac user. And honestly, I don't have an external hard drive, but I'm needing to get one because I'm getting close to really, really needing one. So that is definitely in my future. So, okay. Let's see here. I always like to kind of go back and forth. I like to check in on the live comments as well as keep the questions going. Live Q&As can be a little tricky. In fact, live Q&As, by the way, are one of the most engaging types of streams you can do. They can be a little hard to do if you're a starting streamer and you don't have a lot of live viewers as you're getting going. But one of the things that you can do is you can post in your socials and post like, using your Instagram stories or even in your YouTube stories or posts or whatever they're called. And you can actually say, hey, what questions do you have about XYZ? And I also find that if you are very specific about a particular topic, that is actually going to help your audience come up with questions. If you just do, honestly, this is a fairly open live Q&A, but it is about live streaming and marketing, right? So it is a little bit honed in. And I could even get even more specific on some of my live Q&As and say, what questions do you have about equipment, microphones, cameras, lights? That could be literally, it could get that specific. And what I find is that you get more questions when you're more specific because it triggers thoughts. When someone's just like, oh, I can ask you whatever I want, I don't even really know what I want to ask. So it just feels too vague. So be specific. But my point is that if you're beginning out, definitely go out, post and gather questions. And then when you go live, you can actually answer the questions that people were commenting on. And then you can go in and tag them after your stream and say, hey, I answered your question live. Hopefully you tune into the replay. As you start to do this, people will become more accustomed that you're doing these live Q&As. They'll subscribe. You schedule it in advance using StreamYard's schedule feature, and they're definitely going to start tuning in. Just like many of you know, when you see these live Q&As, you always tune in. Many of you are frequent flyers, I will call you, frequent viewers, whatever. So there you go, a little bonus tip about the live Q&A stuff. But I did want to talk about engagement today. So that was one of the things that I absolutely love. So we got Neil here. What's up, Neil? Good to see you here. Tuning in live, of course. Okay, let me check in. I saw another question coming from Jim. That's fantastic. Joanne's doing a live Q&A Monday night. Fantastic. And she said, on a specific topic. Love it. Okay, I love it, love it, love it. Okay, so let me go to my next question. This one came from Dark Bites. When giving away prizes for participation, does StreamYard provide a random selector, or is there a way to screen share if I use one outside of StreamYard? Okay, so Dark Bites, I love this question because yes, so StreamYard actually has a giveaway tool that is free for all StreamYard users. In fact, Dan and Gage use it every Sunday night during the town hall. They end the stream with this random selector. Now, it's random in how you basically put in a word and people match the word, and it will randomly select anyone who typed in that word in the comments of your live video. Now, I'm not going to demo this today because there is a video on the StreamYard channel, which I'm going to go look for right now. Because it's an easy video, super easy to show you. Actually, I totally forgot. I did a video about ideas, which is kind of fun, but there is actually a number of videos over here on how to use that review, giveaway tool. Let me see. I don't remember if I demoed the giveaway tool in that video or not. I'm looking. I know we've got a video about it. There's so many old videos. You can honestly just Google how to use the giveaway tool, StreamYard giveaway tool. But Dark Bites, yes, it's a great tool. Again, it's free for everybody. Let me grab this link right here. I really wish that that YouTube was a little bit friendlier about grabbing links. I wish you didn't have to click on the actual video because then it automatically plays it and it's going to be funky. Here we go. I'm going to put this link in the comments. Now, watch this later. Don't leave my stream, right? So let's see. Here is... I just about left the site. Oh, my goodness. So this video right here, I'm posting it. You'll see it. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see the comment. And then it will show up for, I believe, our Facebook page as well. But if you're watching on LinkedIn, it may not show up over there. But I think it's going to show up. Is it not showing up? It's not really. It's acting like it doesn't want to work. So we might. Oh, I'm in the wrong section. There we go. It is in there. So I've just put this link. So if you're watching on YouTube, it's going to be there. I literally just freaked out because I was like, what's happening right outside of my window? And I think Doug is out there cleaning up a little bit of landscaping. So it scared me a little bit. That's why I got very distracted. I'm sorry. And then it's also over on the Facebook page as well. So definitely check it out. Go check out that video later. It's going to teach you how to use it. The giveaway tool is awesome. I feel like a lot of people don't realize it's there, and it is free to everyone. So if you're using StreamYard and you're live streaming, you can use that giveaway tool, and it's really, really cool. So if you're here, you're joining us, we're doing a live Q&A. I'm going to get to as many questions as I can. Put a Q in front of your comment. That's going to help me see your question and grab it in the middle of all of our comments. So let me take this banner down because I don't need that, do I? All right, so that was Dark Bite's question. Captain Bapton says, why is nobody watching my 20 questions plus one show? Captain Bapton, you know what? I haven't seen your show. I think there's a few things that will help. I'll just share a few things that help get more people to tune in. One is scheduling your show in advance. I'm assuming it's a live show. So schedule it in advance, use the StreamYard, just schedule in advance so that it shows up in people's feeds and says, hey, Captain Bapton plans to go live, blah, blah, blah. And then they can click on that, get notified, and it's going to actually send them a notification. You will get more people that will tune in. I like to schedule streams 5 to 7 days in advance. It kind of depends. If you're doing a lot of content and a lot of streams, you may not want to do that early. In fact, I think 5 days is kind of like a nice sweet spot. I feel like sometimes always felt like 7 days was a sweet spot, but sometimes anymore I feel like it's too far away, and there's so much content out there that even when you're 7 days, they forget about it, and it's just one of those things. So 5 to 7 days is probably your sweet spot. Make sure that you are aligned with your audience. So I don't know what your channel is about. Make sure that it's specific. Make sure that you're being engaging in the show, and that's going to actually help your live viewership as well, because people will come back. And then the last thing I'll say is don't forget to advertise. Advertise. I don't mean advertise like go pay for ads. What I mean is share about your show. Use other platforms like Instagram, Facebook, even X, and tweet and talk about your show. Let people know that it's coming up. Put some teasers out there. You can even use the shorts feature in YouTube. Let them know it's coming. Just make sure you are sharing about your show, and that is going to help bring more people to the show as well. Now, I can't speak for the show itself, right? I'm assuming it's great content, it's amazing, and it's valuable, that maybe people just don't know about it, right? But the other, of course, major factor is the show has to be aligned with an audience, and it has to be about what they care about. So that's the best quick answer I can give you without doing a deep dive consultation, right? But you might want to tune into Nick or D. Nimmin and Daniel Batal's show that they do. I think it's every third Saturday. I always lose track of it. But they do they do YouTube channel reviews. And if you get in there and you put your name in the drawing and they draw your name, they will literally go in and audit your channel and give you direct feedback. So definitely make sure that you're tuned into that show as well. Okay, let's see. Creator Classroom says, can you please explore a bit more about email marketing and different tools for beginners that are starting out on email marketing? Well, first I would do research. I would learn about email marketing. So a number of things that are really important about email marketing is that you want to make sure that your emails are of value, right? And so there's all kinds of ways you can bring value. And another thing is that you want to make sure you give people a really good, valuable reason to opt into your email list. So you need to have a nice, opt-in with whether it's a free, video series or a free ebook or, a checklist or something, a workbook. There's so many different things. That is absolutely important as well. And then as far as the tools, there's so many different tools out there and platforms that you can use. ConvertKit is still a pretty popular one. MailChimp is still, I think MailChimp is fine. People either love it or hate it. I still think MailChimp is great. Those are some really great, easy ones to get started with. And then if you need more advancement later, you might want to look into some more sophisticated versions of email platforms. If you're on Kajabi, if you have an online course already and you're using Kajabi, it actually has an email marketing platform built into it as well. Now, I am still going to have Amy Porterfield on the show. We just haven't gotten it scheduled yet. She will absolutely cover email marketing. That's what she's going to cover. But I would also check out Amy Porterfield's podcast. It's called Online Marketing Made Easy. She talks about all kinds of things, but you can go to her page and then you can search in her help bar and just type in like list building, email marketing, and you're going to find so many resources that are going to help you with email marketing, because she is one of the gurus for that. So that's kind of a quick hit answer for you, Creator Classroom, but hopefully get you kind of at least lined up in a direction, right? Okay, Dizpod. So Lawrence Wilson is here today again. Do you think vertical live streams will expand your audience or your full screen live streams? Oh, this is a great question. So you're starting to see more vertical live streams for two main reasons. One, Instagram recently opened up their API, which is essentially the gateway into their code, okay, the software, and it unlocked a lot of possibilities. So, for example, with StreamYard, you can absolutely stream to Instagram now. And now this was a feature that was unlocked a while back. StreamYard recently answered the very quickly also integrated a new feature inside the platform where you can now select a vertical format or a landscape format, which is what you're seeing today. So a wide screen versus that, vertical screen. Now, the reason why this was key is because you could still stream to Instagram, but it would cut you off. And so any banners or any comments you displayed would also be cut off, right? So with the vertical format now, all that's going to be optimized for that vertical view. Now, the other reason why vertical streams has become a hot topic lately is because YouTube just recently announced and opened up the feature of vertical live streaming to everyone. So if you use your phone and you want to go live on YouTube, you now on your phone can do a vertical live video. And this is definitely changing the way that live streams are showing up in the feed. It's still fairly new, so there's certainly more to come on that. I would highly recommend, if you haven't already subscribed to Nick Nimon's channel, make sure that you guys are tuning into Nick Nimon, because Nick Nimon is the YouTube guy, and D Nimon, his brother. Both of those guys are fantastic partners at StreamYard. They are awesome guys, and they are all about YouTube. And I know I think D already did some experimenting with the live viewing on vertical as well. Now, to answer your question, Lawrence, do you think vertical live streams will expand your audience or your full screen live streams? I personally think that until there's some sort of crazy new feature of optimization, no matter what, I think you got to kind of almost treat them separately. That's my opinion. And what I mean by this is I still think that going live on Instagram is a different user experience than going live on YouTube or LinkedIn or X or even Facebook, which, by the way, we are live on all of those platforms. So shout out to all of our Facebook community watchers, viewers, as well as our LinkedIn viewers and those viewers out there on X. I always like to call out our LinkedIn and our X viewers because they tend to be the quietest. And I always love it when they're like, "Oh, I'm here." So if you're over there hanging out on LinkedIn or X, definitely chime in and say, I'm here from those platforms, because I always like to see that. So anyway, I think it's still something that you need to kind of just consider separate. I think there's room for both. Now, if you are a person who is doing these highly produced productions, and you're doing all these things on screen and you've got multiple people on screen with you and all that vertical view may not be for you, because it's pretty limited real estate, if you will. So if you're still wanting to do these high-end productions, I always like to shout out to the Pat McAfee show. I think he does such a great production. If a show like that is probably it's going to be very difficult for them to pull off what they're doing in that vertical view. It could be done, but my point is just you got to think about your show format. Does it fit that vertical view? Now, what if your show format needs that wide view? Doesn't mean you can't use the vertical live streams. Maybe you use the vertical live streams to do a recap show, or maybe you do the vertical live streams to just have a fireside chat with your audience, or maybe you use the vertical live stream to, you go live 3 days ahead of your main show, and you're kind of gathering and talking to your audience, and then you're pumping your show, and then you're driving more traffic to your wide format show, right? So I definitely think that it's these vertical streams is changing things a bit, and you just got to kind of it's still pretty new, and I think we just got to keep our eye on it. I definitely encourage all of you to explore it, try it. Don't be afraid to try new things. Like I said, remember when I talked about what we're going to focus on in 2024, one of the main challenges I gave you is to stretch yourself and do something different and do something new, and that could be the thing that you're going to do. So definitely check that out. Okay, want to check in. I haven't looked at the live comments for a hot minute, so I definitely want to check in and make sure that I am not missing anything important over here in the live comments. One of the things that you can do, by the way, if you're using the starred comments feature, is you can actually open up StreamYard in another browser. It's just a little tricky, because just make sure you don't run into any weird audio issues, because you wouldn't want to, accidentally have an echo effect going on. But you can absolutely open up that other browser, and you can be on starred comments on that browser and be on live comments. I'm going to sneeze. Okay. I love that mute button right there. So if you can have the live comments showing up in your main window, but then you could have another window open on to the side with the starred comments. Then you can be going back and forth. I should probably do that, but I just didn't do that this time. So, okay. Definitely want to check in really quick here. Like I said, there it is. Thank you, Mona. Second Saturday of each month. So earlier I talked about Dee Niman and Daniel Batal's show that they do on Saturday. It's one Saturday a month. It's the second Saturday of each month. Thank you, Mona. Appreciate that. That's always helpful when I have somebody who can keep me straight, right? Okay, so let's see. I think we're in pretty good shape. Renegade's Garage says Daniel, Dee, and Nick are all awesome. Couldn't agree more. Love those guys. They're fantastic. Okay. Yes. All right. So I always love it when John is here. Yep. It felt really tight as I did a vertical live 2 weeks ago, but in turn, it is more intimate. But being a 290-pound guy, it's not always comfortable. Oh, that's hilarious. Always a lot of things to consider, right? Of course. Okay. Yes, I'm a one-time sneezer. I am pretty much almost always a one-time sneezer. Once for me, once and done. And it's a good one. It's a good sneeze, right? So that's the way it is. Okay. All right. Let me go back to our questions because I got more questions to get to. All right. So LaRon Quarles has a great question. Please, can you share what's an economical camera or video camera to make better social posts and videos? So here's the good news. The good news is that there are more and more cameras coming out on the market. I will tell you that the most economical camera is probably one you already own. And that is if you have an iPhone or really any newer smartphone, the camera quality on these devices is incredible. And it's no extra expense for you because you already have it, right? So now if you don't have a nice, smartphone and you maybe are somebody who just loves the old school flip phones or something simple, then you might need to buy something, right? Now, economical is in that's up to you. That's all perspective, right? So I think that what's really important is to consider, what are you using this for? Personally, if you are ready to upgrade and not go crazy, I still love the Sony ZV-E10. I think it's a fantastic camera. However, there are more and more cameras coming out on the market. There's that really awesome DJI Pocket Mini. I forget what it's called. There's so many great cameras out there coming out that have multiple purposes that can be used. You can hook it to your computer, but you can also use it as like a vlogging camera or whatnot. So honestly, to answer the question, I'd have to know what your budget was. But when you say economical camera, I would absolutely say use what you already have. If you have a smartphone that's got that camera built into it, that would be the answer to that question. Now, I always like to recommend, from when you're searching for gear, you're going to see so many different things out there. I just told you my favorite camera is a Sony ZV-E10. That is not a cheap camera. I mean, that camera markets for like $600, $700, $800, depending on which kit you buy. And then if you want to add an upgraded lens to it, you're looking at another $300, $400, $500. And then you need the cables and all the things. So it's not cheap. It's certainly not what I would call economical. However, there's also $5,000 cameras out there, right? That's why I said it's all kind of a matter of perspective. But the best thing you can do is do your research, identify what your true goals are. What are your goals today? But then what are your goals in a year or two? Because you don't want to go spend money today and then then in a year from now, that thing you bought because you shortcutted it or shortchanged it is now really not relevant to you. And it basically became a bit of a waste of money. Maybe you wait for a year, save your money, and get the true goal type of camera that you desire. Now, what I'm getting at here as well is do your research. Get online, get on YouTube, go watch videos with that camera, go watch review videos with those pieces of equipment, and just really decide, is it really the right fit for you? And the other thing I'll say is that 9 times out of 10, you think you need to upgrade when you don't. I'll say that again. 9 times out of 10, you think you need to upgrade when you don't. And I know my friend at Coffee Talk and Tech agrees with me on this. And he absolutely is a big proponent of, hey, you don't need all the super fancy stuff. You need to be creating content with what you have. Then you can upgrade later. So it's definitely one of those things that I want to point out again. So I'll say it one last time. 9 times out of 10, you think you need to upgrade when you don't. What you need to do is focus on your content, create content with what you have, maybe make a small upgrade here or there, get going, keep doing it, and then you can upgrade later. And you may even find that you never truly need to upgrade. There are still people out there making millions of dollars, doing all kinds of big fancy things, and they are just using a cheap webcam. I mean, they're just using their phone. I just saw, Travis Kelce doing an interview and he was just using his phone. I mean, like, you don't have to have all the fancy stuff to get out there and to create content. So it's just one of those things. Okay. Let me check in on the comments. Okay, I see more comments coming in. I am going to start these, and I'm going to try really hard to get to all of these if I can. Osmo 3, thank you. Osmo 3, it's like the Osmo Pocket 3. Is that what it's? The Pocket one is what I'm talking about. Okay. Creator Classroom says, I didn't get my Sony ZV-E10 until I was monetized. And then somebody says, what does monetized mean? Monetized is when you hit a certain threshold and you are actually getting paid by the platform for your views. Essentially, that's the best way to do it. Or when people pay you through subscriptions and whatnot. So a lot of content out there about monetization for sure. So, okay, let me get back to our questions because, oh my goodness, I definitely need to get through these questions a little faster because I'm going to run out of time. Okay, Jim says, looking for a all-in-one show management software that will let us track show leads / show scheduling / guest notifications, etc. Are there any out there? Wow. Okay, that's really cool. I love it. So when it comes to all the analytics and tracking of all this stuff, I don't know. I don't know, Jim. I'm sitting here kind of like, is there anything I can think of that would lead him in this direction? I don't know the answer to this. And honestly, I don't even know where to guide you. So, hey, I said ask me anything. I may not know the answer, right? It happens sometimes. And you, by the way, if you ever get asked a question on your live streams that you don't know the answer to, don't fudge it. Don't try to like punt through it. Just be like, all right, I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. You can either do research later, follow back up, or you just say, I don't know the answer. And Jim, I don't know the answer to that one. However, as I always like to point out, when I can't either answer your questions or even maybe I run out of time, I always want to remind everybody that the Facebook community, okay, we have a Facebook community. It's a fantastic community. Tons of people in there. Ask your question in there. And there's so many smart people. Hopefully someone can chime in and get you an answer to your question that I unfortunately could not answer. So sorry, Jim, to let you down. I couldn't answer that one. Let's see. So let's see. Story Retold said, for anyone to answer. So I love that. So anyone in the comments who wants to chime in. In what ways do you encourage offer viewer engagement? Okay, so this is a great question. I love the question because engagement is pretty critical. And one of your number one goals, one of the number one benefits of live streaming is the engagement. Now, I always like to prompt the audience. So, make sure you're actually telling them you want them to engage. Because if you're just going live and you just do a bunch of talking, not everybody's going to talk to you because you're just talking. This is what I always like to say. Think about when you go watch a presenter on stage. They are up there and they are presenting to you. You are not just going to be in the audience talking to them or asking questions or shouting things out. You're respecting the floor, right? They're talking and they have the floor. You don't. Now, imagine if that presenter comes out and starts talking about something and says, hey, show of hands in the room. Anyone here also feels excited about spring as I do? Raise your hands. And then everybody raises their hands. That's engagement, but they actually prompted the audience and requested the engagement. The other thing, so whenever I do presentations often, is I like to start my presentations out and say, hey, here's what I'm going to go through. By the way, I'm not super formal. I'm not super strict. If you got a question or if you have a thought, let me know. Or if something I say really resonates with you, I want to hear a woohoo or an amen or something in the audience. Okay. So make sure everybody knows I want to hear your feedback while we're doing this. So I kind of open the gate for them and let them know it's completely okay for you to talk to me while I'm presenting. Now, when I present to large audiences, that's a little harder, right? You don't really say, this is informal, because next thing you know, you're not going to get through your presentation. But my point is that you need to prompt your audience and let them know you want them to engage with you. So asking questions, making a comment, just simply saying, does anybody agree with me? Put a yes and let yes in the comments. I also like to do easy polls. So an easy poll is where you might say, hey, let me, I'm trying to think. a question where you literally give them multiple choice and you say, hey, if you're one of these people, look, here we go. Who here has absolutely never live streamed? If you've never live streamed, I want you to put a 0 in the comments. If you've dabbled in live streaming, you've done it, but you've not been consistent, you don't consider yourself a live streamer, maybe you've gone live like 2 or 3 times and you just really haven't done a lot of it, I want you to put a 1. Now, if you're a live streamer who is going live all the time, it's consistent, it's absolutely part of your content strategy, put a 3 in the comments. So that's what I would consider a poll, but it's multiple choice, but you're making it easy. Literally, they are typing in one thing. They're not typing in a long word or anything else. The other thing about engagement is make it easy for people, right? And then reward them. And so the last thing I'll say is when you use a platform like StreamYard, you're rewarding their engagement by displaying their comment. You want to acknowledge the engagement as much as you can. Now, when you get into some live shows or streams where you have a lot of live viewers and a lot of engagement, it does become more difficult to acknowledge everyone. So for example, I'm not acknowledging everybody commenting right now, right? I am trying to get through our questions because we have a certain amount of time and I want to get through questions because that's the objective of today's show. However, as you've noticed, I am I am going into the live comments and picking a few here and there because I do want to make sure people understand, like, I see you, I am live with you, and I do want you to keep commenting. And also, you want to encourage people to talk to each other, right? And so that's why I actually loved how Story Retold said for anyone to answer. So if you have engagement tips for Story Retold, definitely make sure that you share those in the comments. That's a wonderful question. Absolutely loved it. Speaking of live comments, right? How about I do a super fast check-in? I love the poll. It was funny. So my favorite thing about this is I was giving an example of the poll, but y'all are chiming in and giving your answers on all of where you are on your live streaming journey. So we got a lot of 3s in the house. I love it. So a lot of pretty, I'd say a lot of, 3 through 3, because every single day. Yes, you get triple 3s there. A lot of people, chiming in that are consistent live streamers. This is fantastic. I love it. Love seeing all these wonderful people in here. So see, I literally clicked on every single person who absolutely bowling with the pep. My ADD friend. 0 was you never live stream. 1 was that you have dabbled in it. And then I skipped 2 and I went to 3. And if you're a common, frequent live streamer, then you definitely want to, you're one of those. So, okay. All right. And my friend John here is saying, Amen, Mel, I see too many people try to put up every comment. It can ruin your show when you have a bunch of viewers. I totally agree. And it's a balancing act, right? It's definitely a balancing act because you don't want to just constantly be throwing comments out there. Plus, I don't like it when people just throw comments up and they're not talking about the comment as much. So you want to try to engage the comment as well. It just kind of depends on the format of your show, to be honest with you. So, okay, let me get back to some questions. Wendy Young says, what is the best way to track how many listeners you have on each and every live stream? So, as far as live streaming goes, when you say listeners, I wonder if Wendy has a audio only stream that she's doing. So you can absolutely see the analytics. So especially if you're using YouTube, you can see all kinds of analytics. In fact, Facebook has analytics as well. So you can go into the platform and see the analytics of how many people tuned in live, how many people watched the replay, and that type of stuff. So you want to just go into those analytics and check it out. As of right now, StreamYard doesn't have built-in analytics when it comes to like displaying, all the different stats that you have. But while you're live, you can see also the number of people viewing and watching you live. So like right now I can see that just about all of our viewers are over on StreamYard, the YouTube channel, StreamYard. And then the majority of the other viewers are watching on our Facebook page. And we've got a few people hanging out with us over on X and then in the community as well. So that's kind of a thing that's kind of cool too, is when you're live, you can see that too. So, right. So okay, this is a great question. Genealogy with Amy Johnson Crow. So she says, can you add another destination after you've scheduled to one? Yes, you absolutely can. In fact, I really, really, really love the ability that StreamYard gives you where you can schedule a stream. Let's say you schedule it to YouTube and then you're like, you know what? I think I'm going to do that on Facebook too. All you have to do is go in and edit that stream and you just add the destination. You literally just add the extra destination. Make sure you upload a thumbnail because it won't just carry over the thumbnail, but it carries over the description you already put, and you can add it in there. The other thing that's really cool about this too is that you can change your mind and decide, you know what, I'm not going to go live on LinkedIn. I'm going to turn that off, right? Now, it doesn't delete it from LinkedIn. It does delete it from YouTube. It does delete it from Facebook pages. It does not delete it from Facebook communities or LinkedIn. I don't know about Instagram, but well, Instagram is different. So the other thing I'll give you, a quick little bonus tip. This is like a hack. If you ever want to do exclusive content, and what I mean by exclusive content, let's say you have a Facebook group, okay? Or you have a YouTube channel and you want to go live all over the place and you have a guest, right? And you're like, all right, I've got this great guest and they're going to come on and do all this cool stuff. And then you want to host a Q&A. If you're trying to, this is a huge, listen up here. If you're like one of those people that's like, I kind of want to make the shift and go from Facebook and move all my Facebook people to YouTube, how do you get them to change the platform and move over there and start to tune into on YouTube? This is a key benefit here. You can say, all right, I'm going to turn the stream off, but we're going to keep going live over on my YouTube channel. And you put a little thing at the bottom, put a link in the comments and say, come hang out with us. We're going to continue this live conversation with a Q&A with my special guest. So if you want to ask a question, come on over to YouTube, and you're bringing all these people over to YouTube, which they maybe didn't even realize you were over there. And then you want to tell them to subscribe to you. Absolutely. So you're kind of like exclusively sharing this content over on YouTube. What you do is while you're live, you can just simply turn off the destinations up at the top. And when you do that, it will absolutely shut the stream off on those channels. So same thing if you have a Facebook group or something like that and you want to just drive traffic to that Facebook community, you can say, all right, we're going to keep this conversation going, but only over in our Facebook community. Now, with that being said, we all know Facebook groups, or we don't all know, but Facebook recently announced that they are going to be limiting some API stuff with the groups application. We don't know what that means yet. So for all I know, we're not gonna be able to stream with StreamYard into a group anymore. I don't know though. Nobody knows yet. Okay. Nobody knows. And it's one of those things. So don't freak out. But that was also a bonus tip there too. So the answer to your question, Anne, is absolutely yes. Okay. So let's see here. Joanne Banco, great question about onboarding email subscribers. I will simply say you do want to have an onboarding sequence. When somebody subscribes to your email list, you want to send them a unique nurture sequence that basically helps them know what to expect. So let's say you're sending one email a month or one email a week to your whole list. When somebody subscribes, what an onboarding sequence is they get a unique sequence of emails. You might say in your first email, hey, I'm going to send you 2 more emails that's going to tell you a little bit more about what to expect from this newsletter. And then the next day you send them something. And then the third day you send them something. Sometimes this is a great way to drive traffic to other pieces of content. Like, oh, by the way, did you know I also have a podcast? If not, make sure you check it out here too, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not going to go on a deep dive about that because honestly, I think that we will cover that in a future show. But heck, that question could be an entire show right there, to be honest with you. So I love that you asked it, but I'm not going to take a super deep dive on it because I do want to keep going. Okay, let me, I'm looking at questions here. Okay, let's see. Creole Catfishing says, oh, I'd love to have someone from StreamYard as a guest on our weekly live show. I think it would be extremely educational for our audience since most of them stream themselves. Well, that sounds fun. I would probably do something like that, to be honest with you. Or I can actually share that information with the team. But if you're just looking for somebody to come talk about StreamYard or talk about live streaming, I would absolutely be happy to represent StreamYard and come on your show for you. That's one of the things that I do. So if you want to do me a favor, head over to, well, I'm thinking, what's the best way to get a hold of me? You're on YouTube right now. Go over to, if you're on Instagram, go over to Instagram, Melanie Diane, Dyann. Send me a DM and we can chat about that. Let's see. Let's see. Does the Yard charge for editing videos for shorts or reels style videos? No, the video editor, let me double check this really fast. I think that the video editor comes with all plans, but I'm double checking that. I'm pretty sure that everyone has the ability to edit videos. I really think that the pricing table needs to be updated, but I really do think that the editing features are for everyone. Even on the free plans, but check it out. I mean, see if you've got it. But that's a great question too, that you can also ask in the Facebook group, and somebody from the support team will definitely be able to answer that question for you. All right. I think I've got time for a few more questions. So yes, I see more questions. Let me get back to where I was so that I can grab those. Okay, so I see this question. Okay, so Joanne says, I've always used a real camera. Are there stability issues streaming with a phone? The only stability issue is if you're live streaming like mobily, like if you're you can plug your phone into your computer, and there are ways you can actually use your phone as a webcam. But if you're talking about streaming with the phone, then the only stability issue you're going to run into is your service, your Wi-Fi or your cellular service. So that's the only issue. So as long as you have strong Wi-Fi or strong connection cellularly, you shouldn't have any stability issues whatsoever. So you should be fine. I'm making sure. I feel like I saw another question I missed. Nope. Okay. I'm going to go back down to oh, sweet. Ryan's Variety and Talk says, just want to say thank you for the recommendation for the Mic Shure MV7 and the Interface Wave XLR. It's been about a year and a half now. Loving it. Thank you kindly. Awesome. I always love it when someone like makes an investment and they love their investment. That's super great. Love it. Absolutely fantastic. Thanks for chiming in and let me know that you are a fan of the Shure MV7. Okay, I'm scrolling down. Here's one. All right, so GT Junior Grows It Alaska says, I have a question. Can I share a video while on live and pause it while sharing? The answer to this question is yes, you can. You can do this if you use the video share feature, which I used to have a video in here that showed how to do that. I don't think I have it uploaded, but let me see if I'll look for it really fast. My face is getting red today. See that? I'm like getting all hyper. Video share. Okay. I don't know how long this video is. If it's short, let's hope it's short. Sometimes the tutorial ones I've done in the past are a little lengthy. This is a cool feature, which is why I want to show it. So if you go down at the bottom when you're in the studio, okay, good. It's only 55 seconds. Here, let's just watch, right? I'm not sure if I talk over it or not though. Nope. Okay. So down at the bottom, oh, hold on. I got to get this comment to go away. All right. So I'm going to play this video and I'm going to talk through it because I don't think the video has sound. So it's going to show you how to use this, and you can pause your videos when you use this version of the feature, right? If you just upload a video into your video section of your brand, the video, you can't pause the video. This is the only way if you want to pause the video that you can do that. So let me go back and I'm going to play this video. All right. So you go down to the bottom and you are going to click on share, and then you go to video file, and you're going to literally pick a file from your computer. And when you do that, it's going to put it down in the bottom, just like when you share your screen. And then you actually have to click it to add it to the stream. And then it's going to play, and you can pause it. You can change the volume of it. You can actually skip around to it. And just like the screen share, it's going to show up as a media share. So however that sharing feature is happening, that's the way that it's going to show up on your screen. So as you can see here, I'm advancing the video. So you can also kind of skip around on the video as well if you want. So, but that is the only way that you can actually, use that video share and pause your video. So there I'm just showing full screen and showing you just different ways that you can do it. Now, a lot of people want to know, how can I use a countdown timer that's custom? That's one of the ways. So there you go. That's how you do that. So hopefully that was helpful. A little tutorial. I'm glad I had that one handy in my little clips that I had in my folder. So it's always good when I can do that. Where did that comment go? All right. I saw another question I wanted to get to. Well, I do see more comments that I am not going to be able to get to for sure. I know that because I've only got a few more minutes left. All right. I'm coming down to I'm looking for some questions I can answer. Oh, this is an easy one. Yes. So story retold, we are multi-streaming. So if you are on the free StreamYard plan, this feature will not be available to you. But if you upgrade to the basic or the professional plan, you will be able to multi-stream. So with the basic plan, you can multi-stream to 3 destinations. With the professional plan, you can stream to 8 destinations. So today, I'm live Facebook, our Facebook page, our Facebook community, our YouTube channel, our LinkedIn page, and we're streaming over on X. So yes, we are definitely multi-streaming to multiple locations. This is one of the features that helped me, quite frankly, grow my YouTube channel. I mean, to be totally honest with you, I was pretty much predominantly streaming over on Facebook and mostly streaming in my Facebook group at the time. And once I started using the multi-stream, I thought, well, there's really no reason why I shouldn't just be streaming to YouTube. So I started streaming to YouTube and it helped me grow my YouTube channel. So I definitely highly recommend it. It's definitely a great way to be, save time and still be, taking care of your audiences. The thing to think about when it comes to multi-streaming is definitely to make sure that you are thinking about your audience on each of those platforms. So, for example, I probably won't do a lot of multi-streaming to Instagram for various reasons, mostly the format, vertical and landscape, but also because my audience over there is just very different than my audience over on YouTube. Now, do I want to convert my audience? If I want to convert my audience on Instagram to be more like my YouTube audience, then I would consider it, right? I don't know if that's what I want to do or not, but so you got to think about like what is your audience like in your community? Do they want to see the same content that you're sharing over on your YouTube page? Sometimes it is the same and sometimes it's not. And so you just want to consider that. The other thing you want to consider is the fact that the audience, like for example, Story Retold didn't realize we were streaming to more than YouTube. So you're watching on YouTube. So I'm displaying comments from Facebook, right? You're like, what? That doesn't make any sense. As long as I display comments and call them out, then you can see what's happening. But sometimes when you're multi-streaming, you don't want to just start calling people out or talking and answering questions without displaying it, because it can be very disorienting for your viewers. Because, for example, Story Retold, if I'm like, oh yeah, Contagious Effect agrees. He says it kills a vibe. Well, Story Retold's like, who the heck is Contagious Effect? Well, Contagious Effect is watching over on Facebook. So you can't see that person. I keep saying he, I'm sorry. I don't know if either of you are he or she. I'm sorry. But Story Retold can't see Contagion Effect. And that's one of those things. So it's just kind of that concept you have to always be aware about. Conspiracy music, while multi-streaming with a full panel, if one leaves and I stop their stream, can I replace that destination even though I already have 8? I think when you say with a full panel, I think what you mean is you have multiple people streaming and you're letting them stream to their destinations. Basically, yes, if you're at 8 destinations and you turn one of them off, you can add another different 8th destination. You can absolutely do that as long as they're already added as a destination into your account. Poodle Professor says, how do you stay back from the computer during a live and still read comments? 2 devices? I don't want to be up close to the camera, LOL. So it just depends. I have a pretty large monitor and I can see these comments perfectly fine. One of the things that you might consider doing, especially if you're using, Chrome makes it easy. You could just change the zoom. So you can actually zoom in on your web browser and it will make the comments larger. It's going to make your preview window of you smaller, but it will make your comments larger. So it actually makes the comments a lot easier to read. So if you're one of those people that doesn't need to look at yourself or make sure whatever's on screen looks okay, you can actually make those comments pretty big. Now, the bigger the comments, the less quantity of comments you can see in the window. But that would be one tip I would give you. The other tip is simply, I'm using a wide angle lens, which allows me to not need to be up close to the camera. Or you can do a zoom. Well, you don't want to be close, but you want to read the comments. Yeah, just increase the zoom on the browser. That's what I would say. Or get a big monitor. That's what I have. Okay, I probably got time for one more question. Oh, this is a great question. So about Canadian living, who I think you said you'd never gone live before, right? So how do you get the sentence live Q&A to continuously move below your picture while you talk? So this is the banners feature. So I will show this really quick, if I may. No, I can't, because the way I'm using my audio right now, it is going to. Oh, yes, I can. I can do this. Okay, so I'm going to go into a test studio. I, by the way, recently decided that I was going to try the whole vertical monitor thing, and I am not loving it. We are going to change it back. Okay, Okay, so I'm going to show you really quick. I'm going to share my screen, because this is something that's just impossible to explain. It's better to show. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Holy moly. It's weird. Okay, so inside the StreamYard studio, you have the banners tab over here on the right. So this is when you're inside the studio. You go click on banners, and you can type in all kinds of banners. And when you want to make a banner and you want it to scroll, you actually, when you type in your text, you simply check mark scroll across the bottom, and it makes it a ticker. So it'll just show up and it will scroll, and it'll just be on loop. So it will continuously scroll and go away. Other banners, if you don't click on that, it's going to stay static. So love the banners feature. Super easy to use, as I just showed you. I definitely would recommend you use banners and tickers, because they do help with that engagement factor for sure. So definitely, that's a great question. And I just wanted to do a quick little demo. So, okay. So Bully with the Fifth says you have a new IG follower. I better get to posting, right? I'm not a big poster over on IG. I haven't been a big poster in general for the last couple of years, and but I need to get back to it. I absolutely need to get back to it. So definitely glad to see you over there on the Instagram, Blowing with the Fef. I'll definitely say hi. Okay, so all right, everybody. Well, I'm going to have to wrap this one up today because we've hit our time, right? And so if you are new to the show this week and you've never tuned in before, thanks for being here. I definitely want to invite you to make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, if we're over on X, we're all over the place. I definitely want to encourage you though to hang out on YouTube for two reasons. Subscribe to the channel because there's a lot of live shows that are done over on the YouTube channel that you don't want to miss. And there's also a lot of really great, helpful videos that are continuously getting uploaded that will help you with your marketing and your live streams and just do more with what you're trying to do. So if you subscribe to the channel, then you won't miss out on any of those videos as they get posted. You won't miss a beat whatsoever. So YouTube will definitely notify you and let you know that video is there. So make sure you check it out. Tune in over there. Join us live whenever you can. It's always a lot of fun. And again, my name is Melanie Diane Howe. Super excited that you all were here with me today. I will be live. I'm going to tell you that I have a really awesome special guest, and I am pretty certain that we are going to be live next Friday. I just have to confirm a few things. So another reason to subscribe, because this guest is so awesome, so incredible. And I just got to confirm a couple things. I think we're going to come live next Friday, and I am trying to solidify that today. And if I do, then I'm going to get that stream scheduled, and you'll be able to see that. I did mention earlier in the show that I am also working on, we are going to have Amy Porterfield on the show here pretty soon as well. We're just getting that schedule solidified as well. She's going to talk about email marketing, which is so critical, so important for those of you that are trying to grow your business. So, all right, everybody, hope you have an awesome rest of your Friday, and enjoy the weather if it's good for you, like it is for me today, and have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys soon. See you later.